The strangest athlete in sports history. Okay, I'll watch it.
Is the strangest athlete to ever play sports. According to one teammate during spring training, he had to sleep in the same bed as him because he was afraid of the dark. The man who sold him testosterone says Manny had them share a hotel room so he could read him bedtime stories. In Boston, the team psychologist printed out a laminated piece of paper that reminded him how many outs there were. He secretly gave teammates alcohol spiked with Viagra.
For a pro baseball player to need a reminder on the amount of outs. That's actually really funny. That reminds me of sorry, I blanked on his name. LeBron's teammate, JR. Yeah, J.R. Smith, right? Yeah. It's a finals game. You're in the NBA, bro, and you're going the wrong way.
Watch James. Now wanted a timeout, but too late to get it. And 5 minutes go up on the clock.
His face is so confused and LeBron's is so angry. Oh, it's one of the all-time fucking greatest moments. LeBron's face is like the pure agony.
Manny Ramirez is so impulsive that while playing in Japan, a fan from America who never even played high school baseball randomly gave him a hitting tip. Manny Ramirez hired him as his full-time hitting coach, and it worked. He once gifted Dustin Pedroia a $20,000 Rolex. As Pedroia was unwrapping the gift, Manny took the Rolex back and smashed it with a baseball bat. This sounds like something.
Yeah, that's actually chatted up. That is so fucking Giga Chad. If you want to really own someone, buy him a gift, take it back, and destroy it in front of them. That's actually really fucking. That's metal.
He was selected 13th overall in the 1991 draft. The craziest part about this, his family literally had no idea. He was the high school player of the year. The New York Times followed his entire senior season, but according to his sister, they found out he was drafted because a friend saw it on the news.
That's actually pretty impressive and kind of an insane drive. Most people need like a regimen and their parents really pushing them, and to actually do it entirely on your own, show up to all the practices, make sure you get there without any, that's actually crazy. It's kind of really impressive.
They suspiciously low self-esteem. He once went into his manager's office crying, saying he couldn't hit, and according to his manager, tried to quit the team multiple times. What makes this insane is that Manny Ramirez was by far the best player on the team. While in the minors, the Indians, and in 1996, he hit a 5-year-old boy with his car while leaving the spring training facility. The police emphasized that this incident was not Manny's fault, and he sent the kid gifts in the hospital, so everyone was forgiven. Deep down, Manny seemed like a shy, innocent.
Okay, because it's really weird to mix in a bunch of funny, jokey stuff with a 5-year-old boy got hit, and he's okay. Okay, because if the 5-year-old boy was hurt, that's a fucking massive tone shift for this fucking movie. You're playing like da-da-da-da music in the background. Don't just drop in that a 5-year-old boy got murdered. He's okay, though. He's okay. Damn, that shit, that really fucking roller coastered me.
A few days later, Manny got his first major league hit, which may be the funniest, most embarrassing first hit ever.
And he thinks it's a home run. Look at this. He thinks it's a home run. He thinks the ball went out.
Manny continued to make mistakes like this at an unbelievable pace. He once stole second base, was safe by a mile, but for some reason thought the ball was foul. So he went back to first base and was tagged out. In this play, and the team psychologist even printed out a laminated piece of paper that reminded him to keep track of the score, the number of outs, and which base he should throw the ball to. After watching Manny stay in the box after watching ball 4 multiple times, his general manager asked him why. Manny responded by saying,
I don't keep track of the balls. I don't keep track of the strikes either. I go up there looking for a ball I can hit. Isn't that what you're paying me to do? I said, that's right, buddy, carry on.
It's easy to say that.
Holy moly.
The video guy on the Indians says that Manny would regularly strip down to no clothes, then come into the video room and try to hug everybody. Manny also constantly forgot to deposit his game checks. He once left a $25,000 check in his locker that was found in the offseason. And despite making all of this money and just forgetting about it, he once genuinely asked a Indians beat writer if he could borrow 30 grand so he could buy a motorcycle. Unfortunately,
baseball newspaper beat writer to borrow 30 grand cash. Bro, it's like a yearly salary for a beat writer.
Manny continued to be one of the best hitters in baseball, but also drove the Red Sox insane. He once missed media day for the All-Star game because, according to him, his grandma died. He then told a different reporter it was because his grandma was sick. Turns out his grandma was still alive. The next year, while in a rehab assignment, Manny lost a 50th. Manny even told a reporter his biggest dream was to play for the Yankees. A month later, he was eliminated by the Yankees after a demoralizing series that involved him getting into a brawl.
You talk about looking for a reason. Absolutely.
Which led to Pedro Martinez throwing 72-year-old Don Zimmer.
Oh my goodness.
What the fuck?
And 2 Yankees getting
You just yeeted a 72-year-old man. You gotta think before you do that. If you're a pro athlete in your prime and a 72-year-old man comes at you.
Despite being an all-star 6 years in a row and finishing 6th in MVP voting the year before, every single major league team passed on him. But just when things looked like they couldn't get any worse, Manny and the Red Sox shocked the world. In 2004, he dominated the playoffs and led Boston to their first World Series in 85 years. He won World Series MVP, and all of a sudden, the strange antics Red Sox fans seem to hate him for were now celebrated. And they started getting even crazier. Manny skipped the White House ceremony because, according to him, he was at home meditating.
Running mate Manny Ramirez isn't here. I guess his grandmother died again. Just kidding. Man, I didn't mean it.
And he kept on.
Ah, what a lovable old goof. What a lovable. Why do we hate this guy again? I forget. God, George W. had low W's to drop, dude. Lol W. Bush. That's what they'd call him today, dude.
He had his second son and named him Manny Jr., which is normal, except Manny's first son is also named Manny Jr. Manny is one of the worst defensive outfielders in.
Bro, you can't do that. They can't both be Manny Jr. That's absurd. I thought it was going to be filler because I saw how long this video was. It's been non-stop insanity.
Another time, he went into the outfield with a water bottle in his pocket.
That should not be allowed. You can't do that. What is this, a hike?
On this play, he makes a catch in a play never seen in MLB history. Manny intercepted his own teammate's throw from the outfield, causing an extra cutoff man for absolutely no reason. Manny's best play occurred in Baltimore when he made a catch on the run, and despite wasting
So funny, dude. It's like he's not jumping in. He's a force of nature, dude. He's not listening. He's not paying attention to what's going on. He's just jumping in, seeing if he can add value.
By this time, Manny had already suggested the Red Sox trade him to over a dozen different teams, including the team's AAA affiliate. He was doing everything he could to make this happen. He once left a game because he said he had a bad hamstring. When Terry Francona asked him which one it was, he pointed at both of them.
He came off the field, walked down the dugout stairs, and said, hamstring. I said, Manny, which one? He pointed with both hands to both hamstrings. He was like, you pick. Fuck, I'm coming out. It was funny later, but it wasn't funny at the time. I had it with Manny at that point.
Finally, the Red Sox listened and traded him to the Dodgers, which started a string of controversies that got a lot worse, a lot more serious, and even criminal. At age 36, he put up stats that were absolutely mind-boggling, and turns out, very unnatural. In 2009, he tested positive for a female fertility pill. Someone in Manny's team immediately told the media this positive test was caused by a drug prescribed for his erectile dysfunction, which was a complete lie, and Manny himself didn't even appeal. Turns out, he was getting a cocktail of PEDs made by a doctor with a license who would travel with him, and according to him, even sleep in the same room and read him bedtime stories.
The real performance-enhancing drug? Friendship. And you can't put a price on that. A homie that'll read you stories? Nothing more powerful than that. Nothing gets you ready for a top-level game.
He was traded to Chicago to help in their playoff push, but according to Ozzie Guillen, after he told the team he expects them to still play hard, even though they were eliminated, Manny told him, quote, I'm done.
Manny, you only played 2 games. I said, no, you told me you had to play hard. I'm done. I can't. I'm done.
That offseason, Manny was given one more chance. He signed with the Rays, and after having an abysmal start, he once again was suspended for steroids. Manny was the first player ever to test positive for PEDs twice. Instead of appealing or serving a suspension, and without even telling the Rays, he went home and retired. And just when things couldn't get any worse, he was charged with domestic abuse after allegedly striking his wife. These charges were eventually dropped after his wife stopped cooperating, and they are still together today. Much of his public speaking is him admitting to his mistakes, talking about his dedication to God, and emphasizing how he is trying to become a better person. In a video posted by Wonton Don, he found Manny in Japan, who was a celebrity, and literally using a random guy who never even played high school baseball as his hitting coach.
We just went to the spa.
Which turned out to be pretty smart because Manny won the league's MVP. Manny is turning 50 this year, and who knows where he will end up. But wherever it is safe to assume that Manny will continue to be Manny because that's what he's always done.
What a crazy life. That was a wild video. That was a wild video. At no point did it slow down. There was no filler. That was 20 minutes
Manny Ramirez
straight of like every 10 seconds a new insane fact.